Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. And it's time for my January update for my ranking vids. So, something I'm going to be doing from now on, I'll try to at least, is to get at least one video out per month, unless I'm doing a pretty big mod, might give it a couple months. But thankfully, the very first mod I'm doing is a very short mod, and it is Variety Vault, which I technically said was my second video, but then pushed it back because of Fire in the Hole. But it's fine, because I'm here now. Anyways, Variety Vault, I expected a little bit more variety from it, as in terms of the song quality. As from what I've been seeing from some lists, there's sometimes people really enjoy this mod, sometimes some people don't like it. And I just expect it to be kind of a middle ground. Honestly, I will say most of the OST is pretty neat. There are definitely some flaws, but nothing's perfect. But I do want to finally address my tiers and how they work. So at the very bottom, we have G tiers. Now, G tiers, they're not just complete awful garbage, disgusting pieces of media to me. No, heck no. They're just songs that I personally just can't listen to. It's I don't know what it is. It's always like some factor of the song that makes me hate it to no end. And usually if I had removed the element that made me hate it, or got past that, the song wasn't as bad as it says. But the actual worst tier is F tier. It's like a 1 out of 10. Most of the song isn't good, but it has something to note. Then there's D tiers, like 2 out of 10s. Not good, but they do once again have something redeemable about them. Then there's C tiers. There's like 3 to 5 out of 10s. They're mostly solid. Just have a couple issues, maybe a little bit more than a couple. They're usually fine songs in the end. Then there's B tiers. They're actually pretty good songs. They have issues, obviously, but they're not bad, and they're frankly actually pretty good. Then there's A tiers. They're really good. But there are definitely some holding factors to it that make me say it's not the best song in the world. Then there's S tiers. Really good. This is when the songs in like the tiers start getting really close. Because the slightest things could even make it slightly out of SS tier, which isn't even my top tier. SS tier are the brink of perfection. There might be just one little limiting factor, and that is just my personal opinion. There's no, reason for it. It's just, in the end, I like listening to my top tier more. And my top tier is known as Zenith tier, formerly known as SS+, but I don't talk about that. Zenith means the top, and the songs in that tier are the top. Now, I will say, Variety Vault does not get to all the tiers. There's not even enough songs to get to the tiers. But there's a couple songs that get kind of close to SS tier. Keywords kind of. And honestly, this mod's pretty cool. And I'm actually kind of excited for VE2, or Variety Vault Plus, especially seeing some of the composers and some of the stuff they've been working on looks really good. Anyways, without stalling, I guess, it's time to talk about the worst and the worst of this mod.
Why?
Before I explain why this song is G tier, yes, that is the tier it's in, let me say what tier it would be in if the problem did not exist. And the tier it would be in would actually be A tier. And I'm dead serious on that. I actually kinda like some things about this song. Not everything about it's good, like the constant starting and stopping. I never like that. Or the instrumental can be a little bit at times. Other than that, though, I don't have that big of an issue with the chromatics ever, and the melodies are actually kind of neat. There's especially some really nice moments. If not A, then it'd be low B or high B. Low A to high B. That's all you need to know. Now, the problem, why is this song 6 minutes long? Now, it's not the longest of the mod. The only song longer than its group length, which makes sense because it's a bunch of different fights in one song. This, however, I don't think it needed to be this long. Even if it was a minute shorter, it would have been nicer. But this song, man, it just tanks. That is so annoying to me. It's infuriating. It's 6 minutes long. Why are you 6 minutes long? Now, there is another song in this mod which has a similar length. Not quite 6 minutes, but it's pretty close. And I also question why that's that long. But that song has a couple saving graces, and the length doesn't make me generally pissed off. This pisses me off. The song itself is not a bad song. I will state that. Once again, like I said, not all G tiers are bad songs. In fact, most of them aren't bad songs. These are songs that I personally can't listen to without getting a migraine. That's all I had to say for Unglob, honestly. If it wasn't so long, maybe I'd actually have it in my top 3. Yeah, I'm that serious.
And this is a loaded gun!
Now, while I do not like Skullbreaker, I can really see the vision of Skullbreaker. Like, I see the potential this song has. And frankly, I think it just needs a couple things fixed. The first one I'm going to point out is the chromatics. So, the Lich and the Gunslinger. My problem with these chromatics is, for the Gunslinger, they sound a little bit too loud. And also a little bit too high-pitched. And then, for both of them, they sound a little bit too similar to me. Not to the point where I can't distinguish one of each other, but just enough to where it kind of bugs me. But that is not my issue. My issue is the melodies and the instrumental. Now, the melodies, they're not spam, definitely not. They're definitely not spam, but they are very close to it. They're like really fast notes. I think this song would have benefited a lot more from less fast notes, or kind of a everlasting thing where one character does kind of fast, almost spam notes, another person does long notes that actually holds out more of a melody. Those sound really nice when done well. And also, the instrumental. I think the instrumental is just a little bit too one note. There's just not enough going on in the instrumental to give much depth to the song. If you gave the song more interesting melodies, and especially in this section where the art style changes, like a choir to the background, this would do the song wonders. Trust me, I bet it will. I'm really excited to see what they do for V2. Now, they could drop the ball with it and make it just this, but slightly better, or with just slightly more listenable to, or they could make it a really good song. Like, I see so much potential in this song. And frankly, when I first heard it, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was fine. But of course, after a couple re-listens, I started noticing the problems a lot more. And also, I wouldn't say I have a favorite part. The song kind of just blends in together for me. The point where uh, I can't, I can't like any part more than the other. Also, like I mentioned, the length. I actually didn't mention the length, but I mentioned it on Glob. The length is a little bit too long. I think it would have been fine if, once again, the melodies didn't sound pretty similar to each other and made the song feel a lot longer than it is. Other than that, Breaker is a song that, well, I don't like. I do think it could become really, really excellent in the future. Okay, there was a time where I really, really loved Kooplings. To where it's my favorite of the lot, even. Now, I look back at it, and it's no longer my favorite. In fact, out of the 5 songs that people usually just say are good, this one is... it's my least favorite for a couple reasons. Let's talk about this phase by phase. So starting with Larry. I think his phase is my favorite somehow. Overall, I just don't think any of the melodies slack, and it overall is just a really nice song to listen to. For the first half, once again, like I said. And then we get down to Morden. Now, I'm going to be so real. Morden's phase hits hard. His chromatic sounds really nice, but compared to Larry, I don't like it as much. However, it's kind of one note to me. I don't really think much about it, but it's fine. So, after that, we got Wendy. And this is the first phase where I actually don't like anything. I don't really care for Wendy's vocals. In fact, Wendy's vocals, I think, are my least favorite. Actually, no, there's one I dislike a little more. However, Wendy's, not chromatic, her melody she sings, I don't like. Neither do I like Mario's, or the instrumental for that matter. Nothing of this phase really interests me. But then we go to Iggy, and his phase also isn't that interesting. The chromatic is better, but overall, it's not that neat of a section. Once again, the melodies from Mario aren't that nice to listen to, and then the instrumental, once again, isn't that nice to listen to again. I can't. It's like there's things I could like about this phase, definitely, but yeah, I don't really care for it. And then there's there's Roy. Now, I do not like Roy's chromatic in the slightest. It's my least favorite. But I will say this, the melodies are really nice. Other than that, it kind of feels like Morton's phase, but weaker. It's not bad, but that's not neat. And then Iggy's phase. Honestly, I really like it. It's really nice and it's really fun to listen to, and it's too short for my taste. And then you get dropped off into Ludwig von Koopa, the last phase. And frankly, it's probably the most boring for me. Now, it's not the worst phase. It is genuinely not that interesting to me. But if I were to rank each section, I would probably go like this. Last place Wendy, first place... oh wait, that's not how you do it, I'm an idiot. First place would be Larry, second place would be Morden. Then would be Lemmy. Then would be... probably Ludwig. Then I say Iggy, then Roy, then Wendy. Now, if Bowser was in this, it would be a lot cooler, I think. But it's fine that only the Kooplings got some time to shine. It's nice. This song is nice. I like the first half more, I'd say. Or just, like, once we get to Wendy, like I said, this song kind of tanks for me. It goes from like S tier to kind of low B tier, like it is now. But I could totally see like a little bit of revamp on some of these phases. Do this justice. I would love to see that. Another Winter is a pretty neat song in this OST. I think it's probably one I would say I overlook the most. But when I listen to it, I'm not complaining. I do have a couple issues with it, but I will start off positive this one. I like how Scott sounds. Boyfriend sounds nice. The melodies are pretty neat. And that's about it, honestly. There isn't really much to the song for me to say. I like elements of it, like I said, the melodies. Oh yeah, I forgot the instrumental. Oh my god. I generally forget about the song sometimes. But I really, really love the instrumental. I like the vibe the instrumental gives. But the instrumental is kind of a problem for me because so the instrumental for me, when it gets to that like build up part near the end, I was expecting like from like the stage and everything, I was expecting a little bit more how do I say it? Upbeat dance vibes. It didn't quite get that to me. I wouldn't say it was a letdown, it's just it surprised me. And I would have preferred it more if it was more like upbeat and energetic than it was. Not saying it's bad, definitely not. But it just wasn't as good. But another thing I would say is a problem is Boyfriend and Scott's, like whenever they sing together, they're duetting. They sound like, I wouldn't say similar, but I feel like Boyfriend's overpowering Scott almost a little bit. Like, I hear Boyfriend a little bit more than Scott. And it's, I would say it's not a bad thing, but I would like to see them either at equal or like in a situation where it makes sense. Like an everlasting thing, or you know, whatever. I just call it everlasting because everlasting is the first song that did the like, or the first song I saw at least. Other than that, this song is a pretty neat song, and I think of all the songs aside from Skullbreaker, this is a song I'm most excited to see get an update. And yeah, the song's pretty cool, I guess. I really, really, really like this song. Shame that is actually the shortest of the mod. Like a real shame. Let me just start off with the really, really good stuff. For instance, these melodies are so nice to listen to. Like, I'm kind of addicted to some of these melodies, especially the Legend of Zelda one at the end. Oh my god, that sounds chills on my side every time I hear it. Other than that, though, this song just has a lot of charm to it, I feel. I've never played a Zelda game. In fact, I only own Breath of the Wild. I've never played it. But, I don't know, the music in that game I listen to a ton, despite never playing the game, and frankly, I feel like this it feels like something, like the instrumental feels like something I'd hear in a Zelda game. And I also really, really like Link's chromatic. It's really, really nice to listen to. Everything about this song is really, really nice. My biggest problem, once again, is that it's way too short. I just want a lot more of this song. But I guess also, there are some melodies that are, like, not as nice. They're not bad at all. They're just not as nice to listen to as the other ones. And I feel like this song is way too short, and in V2 they I hope to God they just make it longer, because that's all I need from this song. That's all I'm asking for. That's literally all I'm asking for.
You're in pain. I can tell by what you're saying, but
I'm Golden Freddy. I like to scare, and when I scare, I become a nightmare.
I want to just say two things. One, this song took me 7 tries to record it fully. And two, of all the songs in this mod, this one makes me feel the most nostalgic, I'll say. For Mario and Undertale, which were the only other two things I have ever been really interested in, like a lot, I only started getting into those interests about 2-3 years ago. FNF has been part of my life basically ever since it went out. My sister told me about it when it first came out when she was in school. I thought I was scary at first because I was like 4 years old. But after like a couple years, like 2 years after that, I actually got really into FNAF. And it's been kind of just it's kind of like my guilty pleasure almost, because I don't talk about it much now often. In fact, I rarely even act like I'm a... But I really, really like FNAF. And this song it hits so close to home with how I originally felt about FNAF when I first got into it. It's so nice. And also, I mean, the rest of the song is just amazing as well. Golden Freddy. I think there's 2 different samples in this, which I think is actually pretty cool, because, like, the theory of Golden Freddy being 2 people. And then, like, this pop-off right here is, of course, it's incredible. Like, it's nothing shy of incredible. I also really, really like Phone Guy. Phone Guy sounds really nice. Also, the intro writing, or the intro text that he says, is that from the game, or is that, like, not? I would like to know that. I would also like to know what 2 sample Golden Freddy's are, if it are 2 samples or it's just 1. I guess Golden Freddy also has the Golden Freddy jump scare, which I didn't really care for. Or not listening to, I just didn't want to mention it because it's not that unique to me. I didn't pay mind to it. But, I mean, this song is just incredible. I love every part of it. It makes me feel nostalgic. It also makes me feel kind of sad that this song is the only one that's not getting a remake. Or it's not getting an update in V2. Which, well, sad. At least they decided to do it on a really good song. But, it's not my favorite. I still have one song that I like just a tad bit more. Also, this ending fade out instrumental is heaven.
Sans, I just snorted a suitcase full of coke and I'm starting to feel the effects. Near.
I love Sock so much. Oh my gosh, man. This song, I feel like, perfectly encapsulates how Sans and Papyrus' relationship kind of is. I just love how Papyrus kind of just genuinely sounds like he's kind of tweaking. And Sans is just not caring in the slightest about what's going on. It's so nice. And the melodies are so nice too. There is the one melody that is the Megalovania reference, which, while I could definitely have used a non-Megalovania reference, I could have literally had any other reference, I would have been fine. But it sounds good because Megalovania sounds good, even if I don't really like to have the reference in it. Other than that, though, I mean, there's so... I don't know, the song just is so amazing for me. It's borderline perfect, almost. And then there is the slow section. Everything just slows down. Sans just starts, well, I'm guessing, making a pun with the spotlight all on him. And it's just so simple and quiet. Nothing's really gone. Then Papyrus starts. And he sounds kind of just defeated for a second. Now, his voice does sound a little bit off. Only for like half a millisecond, which won't bother me that much. I just want to, like, make that point clear. But then, of course, Sans plays the trumpet, and they go back to the Megalovania reference, which is a nice smooth transition, I'd say. And then, of course, it really loops. And honestly, usually I don't care when songs really loop. In fact, it's usually a bad thing. But it has a slight bit more intensity to it. It seems like Papyrus is tweaking out more, and Sans is not caring even more. And then the Undyne part comes up and then, like, I don't know, it's the same melody from the beginning, or one of the same melodies from the beginning, but it's so good, and this song is so good. I love this song so I ripped this song to pieces, and it was always my favorite of this mod, even when I didn't really care for the songs of the mod. This is a special song for me. A little bit not as special as It's Me when it comes to nostalgia and memories, but a special song just by how good it is. Other than that, this song deserves just all the praise I give it. Frankly, it deserves a whole ton more. And that was Variety Vault. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. I didn't expect to like this mod as much as I kind of do. It's not the worst mod ever, as much as I act like it was. Here's my tier list. And once again, I am very excited for V2, but that's not until whenever it comes out. And right now, I'm focused on the future next month mod, which I'm not going to say what it is outright, but I'll just go ahead and state it's kind of like Variety Vault's Spooked in a way. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys next month.